Flying Brian here, heading over to the Charlotte Monroe Executive Airport. It has been nearly 3 months since I've flown an airplane, and it's time to go get current again. COVID-19 has had a negative impact on many activities, this being one of them, and it's time to go get back into the air, and if you want, come along for the ride. The primary purpose of today's flight is to assure I remain current. And by that, I mean complying with all the recent experience requirements set forth in the Federal Aviation Regulations. Let's take a look at what I need to fly today. First, FAR 61.3 states to operate an aircraft, I must have a valid pilot certificate, as well as a government-issued photo ID. I have in my pocket a valid ATP certificate, as well as a North Carolina driver's license. That makes me good on these two requirements, so check and check. Next, FAR 61.3 paragraph C requires that I have in my possession a valid medical certificate that has been issued within the last 24 months. I underwent an FAA physical in December 2019, just 6 months ago. And at the completion of that physical, I was issued a Class 3 medical certificate, and it too is in my pocket. So, check. Next, FAR 61.56 states that I must have completed a flight review within the last 24 months. I completed my flight review in March, just 3 months ago. The attestation to that fact is recorded and signed by the instructor pilot in my logbook. So I am good on that requirement as well. Check. From here, the FAA has some recent flight experience requirements. For example, if I wanted to take a passenger with me today, FAR 61.57 requires that I have made at least 3 takeoffs and 3 landings within the last 90 days. The last time I flew was my flight review in March. That was 85 days ago. I would be legal to take a passenger with me today, as I am not yet beyond my sell-by date. However, I am becoming stale in the eyes of the Federal Aviation Regulations. So, today's flight will start with touch and goes. I'll get my landings in and reset that 90-day clock. Okay, we are ready to go. I know there is another aircraft in the traffic pattern, and he just announced turning crosswind down on the far end of the airport. I still keep an eye open as I taxi to the end of the runway for traffic that might be lurking ahead on the base or final. There's my call announcing I am departing runway 23. My takeoff plan is, if I have an engine failure below 1000 AGL, I will continue straight ahead and land. Once I am above 1,000 feet, I will have enough altitude to turn back to the airport. Smoothly up to full throttle. Accelerate down the runway centerline. Hold a little bit of back pressure on the yoke, and the airplane lifts off when it's ready to fly. As I already mentioned, I will be remaining in the traffic pattern, so I make my turn to crosswind. Now the turn to downwind. And a power reduction to keep the airplane slow as we fly the downwind. You can see the runway out the left window. Make a radio call letting Monroe traffic know I am midfield downwind for runway 23. I beam the runway numbers, I apply full carb heat, reduce the throttle, apply 10 degrees of flaps, and start down. Turn on to base leg. Add another 10 degrees of flaps. Announce that I am on base leg over the radio. Turn on to final. Add in another 10 degrees of flaps. There's the touch, flaps up. And go. Turn back onto crosswind. to downwind. Reduce power and fly the downwind. Another radio call to announce I am midfield downwind for runway 23. Carb heat, reduce power in 10 degrees of flaps. Turn to base leg. Turn to final. Touchdown. Flaps up. And go. This ADS-B plot shows I actually did 5 circuits of the traffic pattern, one of which involved a right 360 to open up spacing with the one other aircraft that was in the pattern. As we rejoin the flight, I am on the go after my 5th landing and climbing on the upwind leg of the traffic pattern. Here's my turn to crosswind. And now to downwind. I will depart the traffic pattern and head east towards Anson County and continue to climb to 2,500 feet. entering KAPF on my GPS, which will take me direct to the Anson County Airport. The plan is to complete the RNAV approach to runway 34 over at Anson County. Leveling at 2,500 feet now. It will take a few minutes to get over to Anson County, so this is a good time to review the approach procedure, and I will end the video here. Watch for part 2 of this flight, and remember, life is a journey. Enjoy the ride, and thanks for watching.